Hello, everyone, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights. I am your host, Dear James, and I am joined by my incredibly fabulous co host, the Lady Jaclyn, who has been off. However, she has rejoined us. Here you are. Hello, Jaclyn.
Hello. Was that like a little echo?
Is there an echo?
Hello. No, it was just like the way that you said it. It was almost like hello, hello.
You can feel
It's so
all
good
of
to be
our
back.
enthusiasm. We are so thrilled to have you back and with
Thank
us.
you.
I know.
I'm so thrilled to be back.
Yes, it's exciting. There's some epic energies going on. So perhaps that was the ripple that you felt as well, right?
I'm still feeling it. Not just gonna lie.
Yay! Look at that, right at the top of the hour, Ian. Welcome back, Lady J.
Thank you,
So,
thank you. It's so good to be back. I'm excited to kind of hear what the energy has in store for us because oh my word, I don't know about you guys, but I've been feeling all of the feels. I told James every time I want to plan something out and the plan doesn't work as my plan, but it's obviously the big plan. Um, so yeah, it's been quite interesting the last month to try and not try, but to navigate the times that we're currently in.
isn't
It's
it
been
true?
interesting.
They
Mm.
have been epic. Epic. And certainly building up to the 8-1, the 8-1 energies that commenced and how that's going to play out. That is being quote unquote triggered again here with the super full moon. And it's the last super moon of the year. And it's coming in with a doozy.
So, like, I'm so glad you said that because everywhere on Instagram and Facebook, I obviously, like, I follow a lot of different people and they're posting about, the Lionsgate portal and the 8-8 and the supermoon, and they all have their perspectives and
Yes.
their modalities that they're coming from. And every single one of them, it's all like this, oh, expect, amazing, big, beautiful, like rainbows and unicorn energy. And I'm like, guys, did I miss the boat? Like, where are these rainbows and unicorns? I was like, I'm not feeling the feels. Like, I'm feeling other feels, but I don't know about this rainbows and unicorns and abundance and planting the seeds of manifestation. I'm like, I get that energy because I've really been, like vibrating that energy for half the year. But I'm kind of going, this day and the days leading up to it and the days after it are kind of intense. And I was like, did I miss some kind of train? Or
Right?
am I on the wrong train? Because
You're like,
it's
hey,
hard
I radiate this energy that you're talking about. Now,
all of the time.
I'll
Yeah.
have that. Where is it?
And it was almost like it was just gone. And I'm thinking, okay, no, hold on. I know there's a bigger thing happening. And like, that's why I can't wait to actually, unpack it a little bit further. And I'm glad you said that because sheesh, like I literally thought, okay, whoa, what, hold up. Like, wait a minute. What is going on? Like, no, it's been intense.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Let's just jump off with this with the astrological happening so we can kind of because it is true, right? I mean, so it's you can't I don't want to say that on air. They're talking out both sides of their, you know what, mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what's interesting, this is why and the Lady Jaclyn literally she's like, "Oh, a bright white background." And and it's purposeful. So for everybody watching that can see visually, and for those of you that are listening live, I have a bright white background, no art, no nothing, and I can't tell you how uncomfortable that is. And that's the feeling that I kept, but I knew to do it. It was very purposeful. And as I looked at the energies, Jaclyn, for today, they were literally, it's 8:10, and I was like, this whole blank white page. And then they were like, blank white wall as your backdrop. And then this whole piece of black and white. And you were just literally articulating, hold on a second, here's this rainbows and abundance and all of this stuff. And then this other kind of like just wild energy. And so we literally are having this juxtaposition of the black and white. And that's, the harmony of it, right? And there's a little bit of the intensity and the fear, the anticipation, right, of a whole new world, all this abundance, all this opportunity, and yet the uncomfortableness of that reality. This whole like, oh, what do I do with all of this? Where is it? How do I find it? Which is what you're speaking to. Like, hold on a second, I've wanted this. I mean, I've been waiting. We've been waiting for it. Mm-hmm. And here it is. And yet this uncomfortableness or this juxtaposition of, I'm the blank white page. Oh, well, that's a little, I don't know about you, Jaclyn, but it is both exciting and agitating. Is that resonating?
Yeah, it's like I this is the energy. It's kind of going, okay, let me sink that one in. Let me let it in. Let me let it sink in for a little, and kind of go, okay, is that true? Yeah, that is true, because it, and it's like polarity on a big scale, because massive. Literally before, like the month before, if I take my personal experience now, is manifestation on a massive note, and a lot of, like, obviously speaking true to my 51, shocks and transformation and bigness and beautifulness, and yes, still human experience, but a lot of, like, being in sync and in alignment. And then all of a sudden it's going, whoa, this is, what is this? This is like, I don't want to say out of alignment, because it's not out of alignment. It's just like, it's like, the best way I just got it's like a download of sped up healing and transformation. It's like all of the stuff that you maybe would experience or need to experience still in the next 6 months has just been like sped up into 6 days. Like, that's literally what it feels like to me. It's kind of going, oh, you still need to heal that, here we go. Oh, you're getting triggered by that, oh cool, there we go. Like, on the hour, every day, like, you're literally waking up, and I'm being so consciously aware of going, okay, where am I at, how am I feeling, what are my thoughts, and I'm going back to like basics, like real basics, and it's so interesting, because then my mind will spiral into negative, and then I'll trip over something, and then I go, okay, thanks universe, you reminded me I was spiraling, and then I go back to, so instead of getting even upset even more, because you're coming from a more like, conscious state or conscious space, but it's still intense. It's still like, I've still got question marks. It's going, okay, what is going on? Like, what am I missing here? Like, that's how I feel, honestly.
And they said, as you were speaking about that, literally, it's like, it feels like it's quote unquote out of order. And literally it is quote unquote out of order, meaning not out of order, out of alignment, but literally out of order. So in other words, to effectuate order, it's coming out of order. So it's coming from that force so as to rectify. Hexagram 18 has been a big thing about this, repairing what's spoiled, the decay, the repairing what's spoiled. So they're literally talking about it's coming out of order. It feels like we're just oriented, like we are just splattered up against the wall. This energy is hard. It's there's a post about the cosmic cleanse, and they're using the word cosmic. A cosmic cleanse, and a cosmic is the whole of the whole. And they're saying this is this cosmic cleanse of an epic proportion. And think about that for a minute. And they've been saying this, right, all this time, Jaclyn, since we started this last November 17th, 2021. And this building, and now here we are, this cosmic cleansing, this cosmic reorder, the new order of things. And how, and then this black and white, the yin yang, the harmony, the balance, the purity of the void and the light. Returning it, going back to, you said I'm going back to the basics in a sense. I'm utilizing the basics to stabilize, to manage, to see, because these forces, the energies, and just to give the astrological happenings, tomorrow, Thursday, is the last super full moon, right? So it's in Aquarius. It is conjunct Saturn, the teacher. Like
Oh my gosh, no wonder. It's a full moon. I just clicked. I was like, oh yeah, obviously everything happens like that. I mean, really.
and of course those are already heightened. However, this full moon is also then it's triggering from the first, the 8-1 energies. It's triggering the Uranus-Mars alignment. It's also then squaring the Pluto-Eris square, and Eris is literally, ha ha ha. She represents the angry feminine, meaning our rightful place. And so you can see on the world stage how these things are playing out, and the divine feminine is saying, no more. We're back. We have returned. We are taking our rightful place. I've got my crown, my sash, my scepter. It's mine. And, sorry, but, move over. I've come to lead. So we've got those energies happening, squaring that, and then it's also squaring the Saturn-Uranus. And these have been playing out the Saturn-Uranus square has been all throughout 2021. The Pluto-Eris square has been 2020, 2021. All of this is getting triggered all at one time with a super full moon. I don't know about everybody else. I mean, I've had some edgy energy, some things, relationship things of interactions, all coming to the fore. It's like, like this vomiting of, and it's a release, a cosmic cleansing of epic proportion.
I mean, amen. Mic drop, we're done. I can list everything. I had a giggle when you said, what did you say? The angry feminine. I was like, ooh, was that probably my nickname this last week? I'm telling you, it was spot on. Like, you have literally, this is incredible because, I mean, we always say this, but we don't prepare beforehand. I mean, literally, I messaged James, like, I think probably 30 or 40 minutes before the show. And I was like, okay, I can do it. I can get there. My sphenic ping was like, you got to be on the show today. Like, let's make it happen. Let's push things around. We got to do this. And I'm here and I have no preparation. So a part of me is already like, oh, you're not prepared. The line one in me is kind of going, and then I'm going, no, the intuition said be here, so it'll guide you. But it's so interesting because it is spot on. I mean, it just kind of puts everything into perspective of what we've been going through, what I've been going through the last, like, literally 7 days, but actually a culmination of a few days before, a few months before, and everything's been building, since the beginning of the year. So it's quite interesting to see how it all unfolds and how, because the human design energies the last 2 weeks has been that of leadership, but it's leading yourself first and then kind of being the voice of another, so it's kind of leading from behind the scenes and not necessarily in the foreground, like that, the universal understanding of leadership. It's kind of just going, you can be the voice to the leader as well. You can be the voice of influential change. So that's really also been, that energy. And we're moving into the gate 4, which is answers. So when I saw that, I was like, ooh, okay, maybe after this turmoil, when we really allow ourselves to receive, we will have those aha moments or those insights or those moments of clarity to all the questions that we've been asking the last couple of days, last couple of months. And I mean, it's not like, everything is just going to make sense, but it is like everything's just going to make sense, because it's kind of releasing that you don't need to know everything. Like, that's the thing. You just kind of get clarity on what you're supposed to get, or what you're supposed to receive clarity on when the timing is right, when actually everything is meant to, come into place. So there is a bit of that surrender. But it's also, I feel myself is releasing the feeling of guilt or shame based on the process or the transformation or the experience, because if I speak the last couple of days, like, I've said things or I've reacted to certain things, and then I take a step back and I go, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or oh, now I feel guilty, or how's that going to play out? But then kind of just going, you know what, it's okay. Like everything is designed the way that it's supposed to, and you can't, you can't turn back time, but you also can stand in a space of, I want to say, gratitude, of knowing that you did things the way that you could in that moment, and you have learned, and it's better than you did previously. If that makes sense.
Mm. And even if, Jaclyn, as you've just articulated, again, this energy is really bringing things up, right? So anything that's been repressed, suppressed, things that we've wanted to say and didn't, or, so there's all these things, and life is, birth is messy, death is messy, life is messy. It can be messy. Yes, we can do it in a very conscious manner. However, and I would say, and at this moment, this energy is all about cleaning house. And I'm on a cosmic level. So we may not articulate in the finest fashion. We, as you've just said, and that's okay, because exactly as you articulated, it all happens the way it's supposed to. What's the intent? Is the intent pure? The delivery may be a bit bumpy and rough. However, is your intent pure? And thereby, it's not coming from a state of malice or harm. It's coming from a state of expression, or wanting to heal, renew something, directed in a new way, and or you're being guided to, okay, I've got to get this out. I've got to purge this, because otherwise it's going to misdirect me, misguide me. It's going to hold me back or down. And this energy is nothing. It is all about release, shed, release. So and it's bumpy. It's not fun. Go ahead.
And there's an element of like uncertainty and scary. Like, it's, when you're speaking about it, it's scary, because that release then comes with new, and new is supposed to be exciting, but then also it's letting go of the old, and kind of really going. I mean, I've been faced with questions of like, okay, now what? So, okay, if I really let that go, what happens then? Like, how am I actually going to do this? The how, and we've talked about this before.
Right. I mean, because the new is unknown, right?
100%.
And there's
100%.
that edginess, but go on. I just want to throw that in really quickly.
So it's but then I laugh, because I get reminded that we get stuck in the how, like Abraham Hicks's teachings. It's not our place to control the how. The how will sort itself out. The universe sorts itself out. So every time, did I see a meme or a video? I can't remember where I saw it, but it was kind of like, it's fine, because ultimately everything is fine, because it works itself out. No matter how hard you try to go the opposite direction, if you're designed to go to the right and you're forcing yourself to go to the left, eventually you're going to end up going to the right. So it's kind of going, okay, so I don't know what next, or I don't know what potentially could happen, or I don't know how to do the next thing that I'm being forced to do or being pushed to do by the universe. But it's kind of surrendering and releasing that need to know how. And that, I suppose, is the scariest part, because it's like this push and pull inside of me going, hold on, but I need certainty, I need safety, like I need to understand how, I've got to make things happen, And then there's another part goes, no, that's the ego just wanting to keep you safe. You don't need to make things happen. You just got to trust and release and go through the process and dance. That's the best way to actually do it, because it's supposed to be fluid, and it's like when you're learning a new dance, it's uncomfortable. You don't know if your feet can actually go there until you've done it a couple of times, and then you learn something new, and then you step up even more. So that's probably the easiest analogy, which is it's supposed, just search for that energy of learning to dance. That's kind of how you navigate this time that's coming up.
And remember, that was a big part of, and you used this at the top of the hour, the word abundance. Like, this is all about abundance. And they gave us a few shows back that whole piece of abundance dance. And they literally framed it, side framed it. So contained within the word abundance is the word dance. And the dance is enthusiasm. The dance is flow. It's movement. It's what the Lady Jaclyn is articulating. It's literally that, okay, when we just are one with the beat, the sound, the music, the joy, we're no longer thinking about it. We're no longer separate from it. It doesn't mean that because we're not in thought anymore, right? We don't know what the next move is, but we're not worried or thinking about what the next move is because we're one with it. We are one with the dance. And thereby we're just open and fluid and flowing with it. Let's see where it takes us. We might bump into someone. We might have a hiccup, a rough, patch space, whatever. We might skid across the floor as we're dancing. All fine. All of it's fine. I want to bring up, while we're talking about this, Jaclyn, I'm going to put my specs back on for this. I've just brought up on, the image of a cosmic cleansing of epic proportion, and then what that actually entails. Because this came yesterday, it was the download, and they were literally saying a cosmic cleansing of epic proportion. And it's tying in with all of this energy that astrological energy, this cosmic energy. And they said literally, go with the flow would appear to be an understatement. This is what we're speaking to. It's like going with the flow appears to be an understatement. They're saying it's both fierce and fiery as much as it is purifying and cleansing. So we've got these, here's that white and black. Here's this, the purity of the void and the light, the chaos and the cleansing of it. And then they said, it's here for the foreseeable future. So the next few months, because these energies trigger out, they both crescendo and build to it. We hit the peak and then they release. They said, be mindful in your interactions. Respond versus react. Allow, align, flow. Release, release, release. They said to hold on is futile. And so literally, if you are holding on or trying to manage or control or keep things from happening or keep from experiencing this, okay. Because remember, they said to us some time back, this energy isn't meant to be contained or bottled, genie in the bottle. No, it's meant to permeate, flow through, allow, let it flow through. They said to control the outcome, the energies, laughable. Like, so, what do we always say? Laugh with. It's better to laugh with than at. So flow with it. And they literally said, we are going on, quote, a magic carpet ride. And truly, only the pure of heart will be delivered. And I literally looked up because there's an association, right, Jaclyn, of, and before I finish, be gentle, be kind, and lastly, if I can move it up the scale, I can't. So there's another, lest it be an unnecessarily bumpy ride. Just want to bring back that the magic carpet ride is about, so we would naturally associate it with animation, fairy tale, it's not really real, the Disney Aladdin, 1001 Nights, this type of thing, like mystical, magical, unicorns and rainbows, not quote unquote, not real. And yet, when you investigate the magic carpet, it actually goes all the way back to King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. And they actually had, it is written, there are literal verifications of the fact that they utilized quote unquote magic carpets. The Queen of Sheba had one made, and they literally levitated and took you places, delivered you to places. And so this is the part of this, because we're going to go through this cosmic cleansing. It's to purify and balance. And then it is to, quote unquote, take us on this magic carpet ride. It's going to allow us. And the way that you're able to do that, be pure of heart. Literally the third thing, be Christ-like, Christ-light. Know thyself. So be, and to be Christ-like, Christ-light, it's all the colors of the rainbow, right? It is this magic carpet ride. It is the your rainbow light body. It's it's the full spectrum. And you're either walking towards that, embracing that, saying, yes, there's that. You know, the Lady Jaclyn and I talk about it all the time. I got the golden ticket. I don't want to be late to the party. I'm on the train. Because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the receiving of, the harnessing of your rainbow light body, your full spectrum being, as opposed to clinging to some cliff or way or time or something that's gone. I see you smiling and
it's like, okay, dear James, am I in a therapy session? Yeah. I go away for a month, and then I come back and I'm like, oh yeah, wait, why did you go away for a month? Like, this is your therapy. I always joke, but honestly, guys and girls, it is seriously, even when I say something, I say it and then I listen to what I say and I'm going, did you hear that? Like, did you actually process what you just said? Because you needed to hear that. And so I always joke with Dear James, and I always say to him, this is literally like my therapy session. But honestly, it's so nice to be, I want to say, reminded of what you're going through, and then kind of reassured that it's okay. You know, sometimes just having that reminder and that okay, yes. And then a little bit of practical guidance as well. You know, I'm all about the practical, but the practical guidance of how to move through the situation. Because I do believe and I do feel from the moment we started, there's been this beautiful progression and this beautiful story being told, and this kind of we're painting a picture together, because that's what this journey is all about. You know, we're painting this beautiful picture, we're creating this beautiful movie together, and it's as long as each day we feel like there's progression, we feel like there's growth, we feel like there's transformation, we feel like we're learning. I mean, I never stop learning. I know I also am a line 1 in human design. You know, we love investigating, we're curious, we want knowledge, we're always learning. But I think as human beings, that's part of our experience. You know, we're always finding ways to better ourselves, and even if it is just in the acknowledgement of something as simple as well, not even simple, but something as important as allowing yourself to heal, allowing yourself to go through the process, allowing yourself to experience what you need to experience. And I don't think, you know, it's so interesting because we've been so conditioned to believe when you're in this spiritual awareness or when you're on this path, you kind of have to be this certain level of perfect, and that doesn't make sense. We're still human experience, we're still going through the human journey. So it's allowing yourself the moments of, oh, who was that? What was that? I reacted instead of responded, like you said. And we know it to be true. We know that this is what we're supposed to be doing. But sometimes part of the healing journey is still having to experience it. You know, all the line 3s out there in human design will understand this, will truly understand this. It's we've got to experience it. And it's through the experience of it that we also gain the wisdom. We can't just read the books or listen to the podcast. We've actually got to go through the experience to have that aha moment or that insight.
Mm. And perhaps, Jaclyn, the perfection, it's not about being, as you said, it's not about being perfect, right? It's about the surrender. It's about the rebound. It's about the experience. It's about the journey. It's not about perfecting or perfection, because then we're focused on the wrong energy. We're focused on trying to make something perfect or appear perfect, or as opposed to, no, the perfection is in the expression. It is in the journey itself. It is in how quickly do we surrender? How quickly do we mind our thoughts? How quickly do we rebound? How quickly do we recognize when we were harsh or reacted versus responded? What's the wisdom? What's the pearl? What was the grit? What was the irritation that caused it, right? I mean, these are the things that this is, and with all that said, and with all that said, they're we're still being delivered. We're still receiving And it feels uncomfortable. I'm going through it. I'm literally walking the talk here, going through it. My family will attest to it. And lots of things coming up, coming out, being purged, being addressed, being faced, being hashed out. And because we're receiving this cosmic cleanse, we're receiving the bounty and the beauty of a new order of things. It feels out of order. They're giving me this because they're like, we want to go from where we were to, yep, we're over there. Let's go. Bam! Eureka! Rainbows, unicorns.
Right?
Right? Golden tickets.
Why not?
Yes, please. Thank you. And, and upstairs the unseen goes, oh, they're so cute, aren't they, these humans? They're just adorable. I mean, really. Because there is an order, there is a divine order to things, there is a process. And as the Lady Jaclyn articulated earlier, it is sped up. This new order, the order of things, it's all like, brrr, it's just like the shuffling of the cards. It's fast and furious and fierce, and it's coming in like a freight train to deliver us. That is the piece. Before, and Jaclyn, I want to go back to gate 4. You mentioned gate 4, and that has to do with chaos. Is that what you were saying? Or what's gate?
It has to do with?
What does it have to do with chaos, or what's in gate 4 right now that you were speaking to?
No, we're going to be moving into gate 4, the sun energy. Probably this evening, tomorrow evening, depends on where you are in terms
full
of
moon.
your
Okay.
time zones. So gate 4 is it's in the mind, it's in the head. So it's all about answers. So the answers to the questions. Let me actually just quickly see what's opposites with gate 4. So this is what happens when I don't prepare. But it's all about answers. It's all about receiving the insights, that aha moment. And then we have, I'll tell you in a second, if you can just bear with me.
No, it's perfect.
So it's in the ajna. Okay, so it's the 63. So it is the questions of confusion, but then also kind of finding the answers when you release and surrender in the right timing. So it's not being over logical. It's not trying to figure everything out logically. There's a big energy, because I've really been feeling this, and I don't know about you guys, you can let me know, but it's kind of going, sometimes especially if you're a really logical person, you try and figure it out mentally. You're trying to go, okay, logically, like this is what I need to do, or this doesn't make sense, and this is how I'm going to go about it. But this energy is really asking us to tap into the abstract, tap into the emotion, tap into the intuition and the guidance that we're receiving from the universe, from source, in a way that's not logical. So it's kind of surrendering to what you know to be certain, and this is the shadow side of it, is that feeling of uncertainty, the feeling of I don't know, or I don't know enough, or therefore I don't feel like I feel safe, or therefore I don't know if I can actually move forward, So it's all about the answers. The answers come in at the right time. The answers come in when you release, and the answers will come. Like I mentioned, the answers will come to everything that you're wanting when you're ready to receive it, because you're in vibrational alignment to it. So if you're not ready to receive what you're searching for, it's because you're standing in your own way. So you're kind of trying to get in your own way of trying to control and process, coming from that ego space, coming from that very masculine space, and the negative masculine of wanting to make everything. And it's the feminine part, which is let's feel our way through this, understanding and being open to the emotions, and kind of being receptive to the answers as and when they come, because that's the right timing, the divine timing that you need to receive them. Does that make sense?
Yes, and so that's why they wanted to bring us back to that, to move forward in the discussion, is So here is this, and one of the things you said, it's about receiving the answers. It's about receiving the answers. It's about receiving. It has to do with divine feminine and so forth. So I want to move and show you. So I'm going to put up on the screen. It is literally a blank white screen. And so think of what the Lady Jaclyn just said. We're moving into conjunct with in concert with the full moon of tomorrow. And we're moving into this energy of receiving the answers. We're moving into this that's governed by the divine feminine. And then we look at this blank white screen. And the overall energies, the topic for today's show that they gave me, the unseen, said a blank white page to create from on. So when we look at this, it is both, I don't know about everyone else, so place in the comments what you're feeling. It is both absolutely pure and beautiful and expansive and amazing and terrifying at the same time. That's my intuitive energy and feel from looking at this blank white, because it's blank, right? When we're in this headspace, there's the place that the Lady Jaclyn, when we're in this headspace, it's all of a sudden fear comes in or something, or says, what am I to do with all of this? And yet when I stay in my soul center, my soul connection, it's the most expansive gift I've ever been given. It is joy. It is absolute creation, possibility, infinity, amazing. It's nurturing and good. So we've got this blank white page. And then you'll see now a blank white page with the numbers 8-10. So the message that's coming through with this is, here's the 8. All month long, here's the 8. The infinity, the magician, the creator, the creatrix, this ability to create, manifest, and so forth. And then 10. 10 is the return. We go 1 through 9. When we get to 10, it's a return. And as we return, when we look at the numbers of today, Jaclyn, what's so amazing is, you can add the 8 plus the 1 plus the 0 and 2022, and that becomes a 15. 15 is about authenticity. In the I Ching, it's about authenticity. It's about humility. You can also add it 8, 10, 2022, and it becomes a 24, which becomes, both of them become a 6. And they talked about, and in last week's show, or the show prior, the week prior, they spoke about the 6 and all this whole year, right, Jaclyn? It's a 6 year. 2022, it's a 6 year. Conflict, destiny, and they said, what are you moving towards or to? Because they had shown us that uniting, the 8, uniting is our destiny. It was a big epiphany, mic drop moment of, our destiny is to unite, to come together, to be whole, to be one again. And so in receiving the answers, this 4 energy, where the sun is moving into gate 4, receiving the answers, receiving what we need in the purity of, it's like after everything's been washed out and it's a blank white page, it's a blank white screen. We are a blank white canvas. What do we receive? And are we in the energy and the element of moving towards and to destiny? The arc of destiny, the arc is forward. Or are we moving towards conflict? This has been a big thing that's been playing out over all this time with the Lady Jaclyn and I. And 24, I'm going to jump to hexagram 24 because this literally ties in with what the Lady Jaclyn was speaking about. And as I bring it up on my screen here, so hexagram 24 is literally return. And it literally means the action is to go back. You were talking about going back to the basics. You were talking about this going back to a place of keeping yourself stable, centered. Its hidden influence is the receptive, to yield, the divine feminine force. This blank white page. The white representing the light, black representing the void, the purity of the two. White is quote unquote absent color. Black is all the color. You bring that together then, and all of a sudden you have the iridescence of them coming out. And it talks about, they said, sometimes we need to stop and go back. This can arise when we have taken an improper course or the wrong path and need to return to where we started. The unseen, they have been saying all along, we're going back to where we began, but an octave higher. So we can think about this in terms of our individual, our micro, our individual selves, all the way up to the whole of the whole, the cosmos. Where are we off course? Other times we can get so far away from who we really are that return is necessary to reconnect with the core part of us that has remained unchanged over time, our soul. Our soul, quote unquote, remains unchanged because it is divine, meaning it's full spectrum, it's everything. And so they said the hidden influence of the receptive shows a need for an inner opening, while the cause or past condition was one of focusing on encountering others. After a time of splitting apart, hexagram 23, this splitting apart, a return to the self to develop authenticity is necessary. We got to return to come back home. We got to return, and we come back home, be delivered, return home to our state of purity, this unicorn, rainbows, white canvas of creation, this blank page or slate. You are at a turning point in this situation, and progress is often marked by a slow return to original sincerity. And this slow return meaning it's all speeding up, right? And yet, if we look at the arc of time, it's been a very long, arduous, slow return. We can say 2,000 plus years. We can talk about that. And it says, it may seem, it may seem like you are not moving forward, although progress is still occurring. This is because by returning, you reconnect with your true path. This can be a time to examine your intentions. A disconnect may be occurring where you seek a specific outcome yet experience something different. Examine your commitment to the situation and whether or not it truly serves you. There is a need to align intention and commitment with the truth of what you truly are capable of achieving. Return can come after false starts with the sole purpose of showing you what is truly important to you. This is a time when you have a fresh start to proceed more carefully, more mindfully. Sometimes the message can be that those who have gone may return. The Master said, when the way turns back, all things turn back with it. And I love that. It's like saying the unseen, source, spirit, symphony, the whole of the whole. When it turns back, everything turns back. We turn back. Turning back is how the way moves. Know when to stop, and you will meet with no danger. So there's this really beautiful piece in this, and you spoke of this, Jaclyn, at the top of the hour, literally of the return and how that, and this is literally the energies that are in the 24 that become the 6 that talk about destiny, conflict. Where are you returning to?
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
So it was interesting because I wanted to read, Oren Curry Parker also does the quantum human design, and the whole time while I was doing my bit, and then the whole time when I was listening to you as well, it was like, listen, just look at your notes, there's something, and then I actually got the current pocket manual in front of me. And I thought to myself, this is interesting because the gate 4 she calls possibility. And it ties so beautifully into what you were talking about. And so the mastery is the ability to experience an idea as a possibility and to learn to use the idea as a seed for the imagination, and to use the imagination to create an emotional response, which then calibrates the heart and attracts experiences and opportunities that match the possibilities in your life. I mean, we can't make this stuff up, seriously, even if we tried. So I think it's a beautiful combination to exactly what you're talking about, because I feel it so strongly, you know. It is this, I actually received the aha moment. Like when you were reading that, I was kind of going, yeah, that makes so much sense. It's this returning to, but on a higher level, because it is, I could feel that was part of my ego self, or part of the healing of going, I've been through this before. Like, what is going on? I thought I healed this. How is this manifesting again? Why is this manifesting again? You know, me and the 61 always, why? And when you were speaking now, I was like, okay, so that makes sense. It's like coming back full circle, but to a higher octave of yourself, and the situation, the experience in life. And it's, I think that in of itself is so powerful. Like when you're able to really see that, you go, oh, because then it kind of flushes away the idea that you're starting again, or that you're back to where you started, or that,
Right.
you know, it's this idea of, oh, like I'm wasting time because I'm doing this thing again. No. It's not even a redo. I can't even use the word redo. It's literally
it's a return.
coming back. It
is
a
a return.
That's a beautiful way of expanding it, yeah.
Beautiful. And as you said, the return is higher. It's not a return as like, oh, I'm back, like you just, oh, I'm back where I started. What? I'm back where, you know, like I made no ground. I didn't. No. It's a return to a higher level. And what's required? The releasing of, the cosmic cleansing of. Cosmic. They are using the word cosmic because they're wanting us to see, hear, feel, taste, know at the depth of our core and our being. This is a whole of the whole cosmic cleansing. Cosmic. Not just human, but a cosmic cleansing. The debris, I mean, look at the space field, right? Humans, we go up and we do all these things and we put all this crud into the atmosphere. And it's swirling around out there. And I mean, debris. We land on Mars or the moon and we leave things. There's debris. And it's not just humans. All races, all beings, all galaxies and universes. And the whole of the whole, the all that is saying, as I turn, you turn. As I elevate, you elevate. As I purge and cleanse, you purge and cleanse. And because there's one of two choices, right? There's one of two ways. You're either going with the way, and that is the arc of destiny, and that is the arc of fate, that is the arc of time. It moves forward. It's elevating. Or you're, in essence, you know, you're choosing, you're relegated to the, you know, to the dumpster fire, to the bin. The fire, the lake of fire. You energies can only, you know, they can never be extinguished. They can only be transmuted. This is just a fact. So, okay, which one are you choosing to experience? And that is so present here in these energies and this return, and the return being, you know, I say smile from the inside. The awareness of what that means, of that kind of return, makes me smile. Because it's like I and Jennifer shared, she said, the terror of the blank white page, full of possibilities, if only we could go with the energies. That's what's on offer. So it's both the fear, the anxiety, the fear, the, oh boy, okay, here we go. What do I do with all this? Woo! However, like the Lady Jaclyn just said, Gate 4, receiving the answers. We don't have to, quote unquote, know them. We need only be open to receive them.
Mm-hmm.
Because, right, like the Lady Jaclyn speaks to all the time with human design, it's mapped out, it's there, it's the design, it's the order.
Mm-hmm. It's the flow.
It's the flow. It's the order of things. It's the flow. It's the design. It's the human design of something, the cosmic design. The host, the master weaver, saying, here you go, here's what's on offer. And with the beauty of divine free will, we have the choice. Are we choosing the beauty, even the fear in a positive way? Remember, fear being energy, we can choose its higher octave, right? We can choose it as that catalyst that propels us forward into the unknown. It's the Fool card. We're going on the journey. He, she, the Fool doesn't know. They just know to show up and go. They know to be open to the possibilities, to the discovery of it, to the limitlessness of it. And that's, or we're not. We're clinging to some old, we're an outdated energy. Okay, well, it's going to get transmuted. It's going to get purified, split apart. So it can be, sent through the wash cycle, or really the fire. The lake of fire is about, it's like the temperance card. It's about putting that which is impure, if you will, into the forge, into the fire, so as to receive something more pure, something greater. Well, I don't know about anybody else. I'm good. I don't need to go to the fire to get transmuted. I'll just go.
Yeah.
Right? I'll just be a willing soul that says, yes, let's go that. Let's hop over here like the Fool. It's the 0 card in the tarot to go on the journey.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, this came up too, because when they were talking about the black and white and the purity of, I heard two camps. So we're talking about 2 camps, and then I heard 2 of Cups. And literally, as I heard 2 of Cups and I looked up, it was 707. And we've been talking about all the 7s, Jaclyn. And they were literally like, see, 7, bookend 7s, spirit, source, symphony, all that is in the center, the 0, source, here I am. And when you look up about the 2 of Cups, it's a very auspicious thing about the really receiving, choosing to be one with each other, one with self, one with source, whether it's business relationships, love relationships, the relationship with yourself, soul self, all of these things. It is the union. It is the auspicious, joyous union, marriage card of the tarot. And so that was really cool, because you can see 7s, magical 7s, with the source in the center. Unity, the halves, the two, the light and the void being unified.
Absolutely. And so it's cool because Bridget actually commented, she said my coffee bill was $7.77 today. And it's so interesting because there's signs everywhere. Like I saw 444 probably like 3 times today. And at the most obscure places. I mean, and then I go, okay. And it's interesting because it does. You get signs and symbols every moment as long as you open and receptive to it. And we spoke about this so many times. This was absolutely incredible. I mean, to be able to, it was coming full circle into explaining actually what has been happening. And it's so funny because you can take time off, or you can have a little bit, like you can leave and then come back again. But it's almost like I wasn't here with you guys for the last month, and then coming back, it's almost like we're back to where we started, but at a higher octave. And also it's kind of going, okay, so this makes sense. Like, so it's this is why I know to be certain that I'm certain that we are literally unfolding a story and we're creating a movie and painting a picture. But actually what we're doing is, while we're the creators and the directors, we're also the viewers and the admirers. You know, we're kind of also looking at the role play and the artwork, as much as we're also the creators of it. So there is that polarity and that understanding, and that's that masculine and feminine. It's like we're the doers, but we're also stepping back and going, oh, I'm actually admiring it. I'm actually being receptive to receive the inspiration, and that's literally what's happening, which is so beautiful. And sometimes not sometimes, we chose to go through this human experience in order to truly embrace it, in order to truly understand the complexities and the flow and the beautiful rhythm of what life's about anyway. So yeah, I just want to say thank you. That was beautiful.
And it was very interesting with that, with you, showing this, the beauty of what you just said, and they were showing this like a rubber band, like the elasticity, or taffy when it's being pulled, but this rubber band being stretched. And this was the association. This is the beautiful analogy and imagery of what you were just saying. They were showing this the stretching of it, the expanding of self, the ability to reflect, to see it. And when they say the rebound, the return of being able to come right back in and go, oh wow, okay. Because it offers us a greater perspective, a greater expansion, a greater depth. And that was, so thank you, the Lady Jaclyn, because you are literally being this beautiful offering, this beautiful example for us. Because without the expansion, without sometimes the space, the distance, all of these things, the needs that come in, right? If we don't allow them, when we don't allow them, we feel stuck. We feel stagnant. We feel less. They're using a word. They're using the word migrant, and I want to understand. I'm not understanding it because they're showing it in a reduced capacity state. And yet, to return, to come back, to show up and go, yep, here I am.
Yeah.
And that's like, I'm home, here I am, I'm home. I've gone out, here's the Fool, right? The Fool. I've gone out on my journeys. I scooped up some things. You see, I mean, it's just so beautiful because it goes in the satchel, over her shoulder. It's the journey, it's the accumulation of these things. I just wanted to bring in Brigitte really quickly because these were very funny. She said, I'm watching my husband self-destruct. It's scary but necessary. I'm for once just stepping out of the way and it feels good for me. I'm laughing with, not at, laughing with, because literally watching people have meltdowns, literally self-destructing, because these energies are like, oh, it's now. Oh, yeah. Okay, now, yeah. You didn't want to do it? No, you didn't? Okay, well, that's fine. Okay, we're going to, and the Lady Jaclyn, okay, we're going to do them all right now. And it is messy. It's messy. And Brigitte, in that thing of stepping out of the way, the allowing of, yes, because that is that soul's journey. It's painful. It's not fun to watch. We're all doing our own version of it. And thereby, the allowing, the space for that to occur is profound, is the way they're giving it to me.
There's also a question. When we get these signs, so we were speaking about signs, so when we get these signs, do we just simply acknowledge it? Well, yes. So the first step is acknowledging that you have received a sign, and therefore it's your sign, right? Because by the very nature of a sign is you've acknowledged it. But again, it's that logical process. You want to mindfully work out, okay, hold on, I received a sign, now what? It's allowing. You will know, based on your intuition, based on your unique guiding tool, you will know what that sign signifies or is designed to show you in that moment. So acknowledging, for me, I explained to you guys along, previously on shows a while back, is I have this lady on YouTube that I followed for years, and she's taken a break because she took a medical break. off of YouTube about 3 years ago, and her videos are still online. And she did, for a whole year, she did this Ask the Universe series, but what she did was she numbered them. So it was by weeks, but she then realized, because the universe said to her, number them, and then that's kind of advice. If you land on that number, then that's kind of the advice you need, whatever space. So it wasn't time specific. It was whenever you needed to connect with that information. So what I did was, whenever I saw a number, I would revert back to that 10-15 minute message based on the number that she numbered it. And it wasn't this logical process of, oh, I see the number 444, where do I go? I mean, I have Googled, okay, what is the spiritual meaning of 444? But then I just intuitively knew, okay, go to her YouTube site, because I knew she numbered them from 1 to 100. So I knew, okay, 4, and I looked at 44, right? And that message in that moment was so relevant to what I was experiencing the first time I did it, the first time I followed that hunch, that's I call it the sphenic ping, because I'm a sphenic projector. So I followed that hunch. The first time I did it, I realized, ooh, this is my source. This is the way that I unravel. This is the way that I communicate with source when they're communicating with me through the signs and the symbols, you know? So I then, every time I see numbers, I go back to her YouTube. That's just one way of doing it. I mean, I literally sat outside. I was a little bit early visiting a client, and I was sitting in my car, and I was going, okay, I'm like 30 minutes early, and I don't know why, because I always get the time right, and I thought I was like literally 5 minutes too early, and I ended up being 35 minutes early. And I'm sitting in the car, and I parked a little bit further away because I didn't want to park in the driveway and sit there for 30 minutes. And all of a sudden, literally instantaneously, my car wasn't even off yet, and I had this hummingbird pick at my side rearview mirror. I mean, that's never happened to me before. And this hummingbird was literally picking at its reflection in the rearview mirror. And I looked at it again, and I thought, that's a hummingbird. Oh my gosh, that's really a hummingbird. And I switched my car off, and I checked my emails, and and it came to my side of the window and started picking at my side of the window. And then it was at the back, and it wouldn't leave my car alone, literally for 30 minutes. I even had the thought of, is this scratching the glass? Like, because it's literally going at my car. And I was going, okay, this is definitely a sign. I get it. What does this mean? Like, and I Googled, literally on my phone, I Googled the spiritual meaning of a hummingbird. Or I didn't even have to say spiritual. I just said the meaning of a hummingbird, and all of a sudden it would say the spiritual downloads of what a hummingbird means. And I would read, and I read through, and in that moment I was like, oh my word, is this not relevant? Like, this is so relevant. And then even in that moment, I decided to share it, and I created a story, and I shared, the idea of bringing more joy and enjoying the simple pleasures, because we were getting so lost in the mundane or the doing or the stresses of life. It was literally there was a lot of other meanings of the hummingbird, but that really stood out to me in that moment, because that's kind of what I needed to hear, was take a moment to enjoy the simple pleasures. And I posted a story about it on my Instagram stories, and I had so many people go, oh my word, thank you so much, that's what I needed to hear today. But it was literally a progression of following my intuition, a natural flow, a natural dance with what was happening, and that's the actual truth. That's living. It's kind of going with the flow. It's going with this natural, not going, oh, this hummingbird, or oh, there's a hummingbird picking, so totally okay. In that moment, I actually felt called to going, hold on, there's some significance here, because it won't leave me alone. It's this intuitional thing, because I was receptive to listening to the intuition, to the message that was coming through. So that's literally how the progression happened. So and none of it was logic. Everything was feeling. Like, yes, I thought, okay, cool, I need to Google, but it was a feeling of Google. Like, it was a feeling when I was talking about the 4, I had this feeling of look into your book. So you have resources, and it will look different to each person. Obviously, me being the one, I have foundational, like you can see, I've built foundational tools for me to leverage back on, like the ladies' YouTube, or like my books, or like Google. We all have access to Google, but that's been my foundational way of going through the motions. And we're all going to have different ones based on who we are and what our unique design is. So, yeah, hopefully that was the answer.
And just to add to that, which is because, again, it's not just to simply acknowledge, like Jaclyn is saying. It's also allow the signs, allow the synchronicity to permeate, to inspire, to create enthusiasm, to investigate, because again, like in her beautiful example with the hummingbird, and then she does a post and it's what others needed, and it will inspire you. It'll be that affirmation, the confirmation. So by all means, yes, acknowledge it. By all means, acknowledge the signs when they're appearing and they're showing up. And then again, allow, oh, is there something more? Like with this, that beautiful hummingbird. Nope. Oh, you're not. Okay, I'm gonna peck here. I'm gonna peck there. I'm gonna peck. Okay, okay, I'm pecking. Are you get it? Yes. Okay, now you got it. Okay, now I can go away. Because remember, it is the way that the unseen, spirit, source, symphony, loved ones, however, the team on the other side of the veil that is with us in reciprocity with us, it is how they communicate. And so, for me, that's joy. I love it. I'm very like, oh, yay, hi, I see you. Yes, thank you. Like the Lady Jaclyn. Okay, yes, is there something? Let me go read and see. Oh, yep, that's what I needed. Okay. Oh, is that something that I can offer? Is that something, offer meaning I can share like she did? So allow it to take you on that journey of acknowledgement, discovery, joy, gratitude, sharing, and you'll know to what degree any one sign or symbol or synchronicity is that. You'll know because they'll peck, they're going to keep letting you know. Oh, there's more here. And that spoke to the Lady Jaclyn. It guided her to do a much more expansive experience with it, is the way. So
absolutely.
Final thoughts I know we're over, so final thought, but we have to be over because the Lady Jaclyn is back. She has returned. She has returned. It's a joyous, this thing of she's returned. It's got that, crowd vibe, the crown vibe, like, yeah, I'm here. I'm in the house.
I just feel called to end off with so much gratitude. Thank you for the beautiful message, and thank you. And I'm speaking, to the beautiful way of how everything just flowed and was so symbiotic and so just in harmony with each other. And like I said, I literally didn't have any time to prepare because it was so spontaneous to say, okay, great, I'm on the show, I can make this happen. I've everything just fell into place. So it was really beautiful to kind of watch and see how everything came together and how everything was just so beautiful. To a beautiful reminder, of where we're at, how do we get through this, where we're going, where we've been. It's just a beautiful culmination, a beautiful return to kind of like start that blank white page, to see the full potential and the opportunities that are in front of us and the possibilities, and be kind, be kind to yourself, and that's to me as well, to be kind to yourself as you go through the process, because it is messy. And sometimes, as an artist, you watch a child create, like literally when I see the word messy, I look at going, okay, what is the opportunity in the messiness of experiencing the emotions, the messiness of the crisis or the conflict. And then immediately I see a child painting or dealing with the art, like going through the motions of picking colors and then changing their mind and then kind of picking another color and putting it on the paper. And to us, it really looks messy, the whole process. But for them, it's the exploration, it's the curiosity, it's the wonder, it's the awe, it's the tactile kind of like expression and exposure to the dance of the flow of the process. So kind of remind yourself as you be kind to yourself that this is a process and that you've just got to dance with it, that you've got to let yourself off the hook a little bit if you've been holding on too much to the idea of, oh, I had too much of a meltdown. It's okay. Like you can have a meltdown. It's okay, And if someone wants to judge you for it, then they're not the person that's going to stay in your life, and you'll keep moving forward, and so it doesn't matter because it's all going to be fine anyway. And fine meaning it's going to be fantastic. It's not just a fine, okay, we're going to be mediocre. No, it's a fine, it's going to be fabulous, it's going to be fantastic. It's all going to work itself out anyway. So you might as well just enjoy it.
I love it. Yes. And I'm going to piggyback off of you ever so slightly in the sense of, as you articulated with closing messages for this week, it is a blank white page. And like the Lady Jaclyn said, it's not always planned. Her return for today's show and jumping in and going as guided. She listened, she went as guided. She says she wasn't prepared, and yet she was absolutely brilliant and right on time and in harmony and meaning the goal of that, not the goal, the point of that is that's where we are. We are at this moment of return, and we are at this place utilizing all the tools that we know to go to our center, to go home, and to go as guided so as to jump in, be the fool, jump in and see where this cosmic cleanse, this blank white page takes us, delivers us. It's to get on the magic carpet. It is to absolutely go with the flow. They said, dare to be different than before. So there, we know what we know, right? They always say, we know what we know until we know. So dare to be different than before. That's what's on offer to us, because ultimately, where is this all going? It's about empowerment. It's about excelling, and excelling at something new. We know what we know. We know it. Okay, yes, utilize it, and yet at the same time, let it be cleansed away. Let it be split apart, stripped away, so that as we receive, we literally receive, and we dare to be more. We dare to be different. We dare to do so. And it's so great. And the lady Jaclyn being the beautiful example, literal example of that. Mic drop, right on time. Thank you so much. Namaste. And so to everyone, thank you all so much for being on this journey with the Lady Jaclyn and I. We knew to do it, and it's a joy. We'll see where it keeps taking us and how it evolves and where it goes. And I know the Lady Jaclyn and I are both very open to wondrous new opportunities with this and for all of you and with us. So thank you all for sharing and joining with us each week. And we will see you next week. Thank you all.
Thank you.